Tonight, only on 44 News, a tragedy in Vanderburgh County. A young mom killed in a crash and a Kentucky man held responsible. But just before that case was set to go before a jury, all charges were dropped. Well, we're now hearing from all sides about the roller coaster of the last 5 months that they've been and where justice will be going from here. 44 News reporter Claire Dugan has that story.
Sometimes you don't realize how much a memory's worth until something like this happens.
On a rainy afternoon in June, a northbound box truck crossed the center line on St. Joe and struck a southbound SUV head-on. The crash killed 31-year-old Maria Getling, miraculously sparing her baby boy in the back seat. A sheriff's deputy trained as a drug recognition expert spoke with the driver of the truck, 24-year-old Malik Stafford of Louisville, observed multiple signs of cannabis impairment and issued a urine screen and an oral swab that came back positive for THC. They also say Stafford admitted to smoking marijuana the day prior.
There were a number of indicators that would normally have qualified for probable cause, in fact do qualify as probable cause to make an immediate arrest. I think there was every good faith expectation that the blood results were going to show impairment.
Stafford was placed under arrest while a blood sample was sent for evaluation.
So in this case, you had some indications that the person was impaired, some strong indications, certainly enough to meet the burden of probable cause to make the arrest.
But according to the Vanderburgh County prosecutor, it wasn't enough to meet the burden of proof in trial. Multiple rounds of additional blood tests failed to detect anything in Stafford's system.
I can't meet the burden if I have a blood test that's negative for any THC or other substances that would cause impairment.
After 5 months, charges were dropped and Stafford was released from jail.
There's no jury that would say, okay, I'm going to find this person guilty of driving under the influence of THC when the blood results are 0 for THC. So I have an ethical duty then to dismiss the case.
Stafford's attorney, Scott Adams.
There was nothing reckless about his driving. There's nothing negligent about his driving. And there certainly was nothing criminal about his driving, as clear as the not one, not two, but 3 different lab reports all showed.
Meanwhile, Maria's family feels like they were led on.
I feel like if they don't have a slam dunk case, they're not trying it. And I think one person making that decision is unfair. Otherwise, what's the point in having a jury?
Her family believes the confession speaks for itself.
They held him for 5 months. In our way of thinking, if you had enough evidence to hold him for 5 months, then why don't we have enough evidence to try him in court?
And after the charges were dropped, 2 days before Thanksgiving and about a week before trial, they say grief turned to anger.
As a prosecutor, that's an elected position. It is your responsibility to defend the people who elected you. And I don't feel like Maria is getting any justice.
But they just want people to remember that at the center of the situation is a mother of 2 boys, a wife, a daughter, a sister, and a friend.
Maria is one of the most genuine people you will ever meet. Always laughing, always joking. You've rarely ever seen Maria without a smile on her face. And she'd do anything for anyone.
Well, Stafford is now waiting for that case to be expunged, while Maria's family says they'll continue to fight for what they believe is only right. Ben?
And cases like this, Claire, are heartbreaking, obviously, and it's natural for the family to have then follow-up questions. This case obviously brings in the questions of the accuracy of the saliva tests. Just how accurate are they?
Well, Ben, while saliva-based DNA testing is widely accepted in courtrooms, experts say its accuracy depends largely on how the sample is collected and handled. When proper procedures are followed, tests are considered more than 99% accurate, but attorneys often point out contamination and chain of custody issues. Ben?
Well, thank you, Claire. Great reporting for us tonight.